Alright folks, so different video from the usual on this channel. Those of you who follow the other channel, Surfing Sheds, what used to be the 8-Bit Man Shed, would know this place is my shed workshop where I do repairs and just other DIY stuff right now. I have arcade machines that I'm restoring, but I recently scored, well, what I thought was four c64. It was actually three c64 and a VIC-20. A friend of mine is actually going to take this, even though this is in bad shape. But yeah, but the 364, you know, I got all this for pretty much a bargain, less than one of these working essentially. They were untested in various conditions, and my plan is to actually convert one of these into a synthesizer. I know a few people have. I've seen a few videos on YouTube, and I like the idea of having a hardware-based MIDI-based, C64 that I can use on my DAW or with other tools. So we're going to do exactly that. There's a few pieces of hardware you need to get, and then I'll need to make a panel with knobs and maybe a little screen just to control that. Turn this into an actual synth, hardware synth that I can use in modern productions. So there's three of them here. We're going to discard this guy for now, but there's three of them here, and I think the plan is to actually open them up, see what's inside, what's missing. I think I'm going to restore this to, well, stock, because it's got everything. It's in probably the best conditions, and there's no yellowing. This one is a bit more yellowed in the case, but all the keys are here. Oh, very stiff. Oh, this is probably just covered in dust inside. This one is, oh yeah, some stiff keys as well, but you know, big cigarette burn marks and that kind of stuff, and some missing keys. So maybe restore this to stock working conditions, and then see if I can make one machine out of these two, and then we'll see what we do with the remaining machine. You know, I'll probably use the, I don't know, I mean, this might actually clean up better than this guy with the big gouge here, so we'll see. But I'm going to restore one of them. I'm going to restore this one, and I will combine these two into one working synth. Yeah, so that's the plan. All right, machine one. I just see a bit of corrosion on the RF modulation here, but other than that, we got the via chips, we got the SID is there, everything is there. I don't see anything missing. There's a piece of journal, it seems. What is this? Is there anything written? I love when you find notes in retro stuff. It's always cool. I think that's just a piece of paper that fell. It was probably used to wedge something, and then just fell in it. Yeah. Anyway, so this one is okay, at least cosmetically. So that's the one we'll use to make a working C64. Ah yeah. Second one is so much dust in this. I had to blow some off and scrape just to brush some away, because it was just, you literally couldn't see, you could see just the top of the chips here. So, but everything is here too. And were these, am I seeing more stuff socketed than in this one? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the via chips were socketed. Actually, yeah, these, I think that's the only one that's socketed in a stock machine. So it looks like it had some repair. Perhaps. I don't know. It's hard to tell. It came with no notes or anything like that. Sometimes it does help to get notes. Hi! Now, interestingly, this one, well, it's clean here first. Is that a blown fuse? No, it looks okay. But in this one, the tape layer was attached, and it's hard soldered into the board. But the metal shield, and it acts as a sort of a makeshift heatsink. It'll be easier to put heat sinks on each ICs instead. But is here. I'm going to take that off, definitely. Okay, this is the first one, the one that's the cleanest on the outside. I've already opened it. This is the motherboard here, and we have a number of things here that could go wrong. But anyway, I've powered it on, and I get a black screen. So what I'm doing next and I'm going to try and power through these. What I'm doing next is I've checked the voltages at the 12 volt and the 5 volt regulators. It's fine. The ICs are getting their clean 5 volt, so it's not really a power supply issue. So a black screen can be caused by a lot of stuff, the CIA chip or the RAMs, anything preventing the computer from booting, really. So what I have here is a test card. It's well, it says test card, and what it gives us is a diagnostic way of knowing what's going on. So if your c64 boots but there's garbled stuff on screen, it'll be able to run through a series of stuff. If it doesn't boot, it can still actually display or perform some tests, and I'm just going to show you here. I'm going to reset this, and I'm going to get rid of this here. Thank you. And if I press reset here on the cart, there's a reset button on the cart. It's really handy. You're going to see 2 flashes. So we get 2 white flashes. So in order to understand what this means, we need to go back to the manual of the test card for the c64 that tells us that it's likely to be this little RAM here, U24. I won't show too much of the details. Like I said, I'm trying to power through these, but if you refer to the manual, there's a good chance this guy is bad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just remove this guy. I think I have a replacement. See if that changes anything. I also see a Fujitsu IC. Now, problem with Fujitsu ICs is especially these LS type, the TTL types. They have a tendency to die really a lot these days because they're delaminating the inside connections, and they're just known for doing that. So, you know, I see it, Fujitsu TTL, I replace it. So I'm going to change this guy as well, and this guy here. Now, what could happen next is that as we change the RAM, we might find, because these are in parallel, we might discover that it tells us that the next RAM is bad. So it might be a symptom of a different issue that lies somewhere else in the circuit, but at least we won't know until at least we change this one. So let's do that. All right, so I followed the what the test card was telling me. I replaced this RAM here and this RAM here, and we got a working c64. So I'm gonna just test the keyboard, just do some general maintenance tests, but I mean, it seems to be working. So yeah, let me just check that the keyboard is working indeed, and if that's the case, I'm gonna try a cart and see if everything is working fine, including the sound. Oh yeah, that's the keyboard working. Keyboard is just the connector here. Let's try a cart. It's in. Oh yeah. I think there's a music maker cart as well on this, so it'll be actually interesting to see if this works. Now, oh, dum 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 dum, cool. Oh, this is awesome. So this is the only cart I have for this machine. I have loads of tapes and all that, but it's going to take a while to load any tape, so cart is handy. So 1 down, 2 more to go. I will try and figure out this music maker actually, how this works, but it's not the goal. So let's close this guy. That was the one of the dodgy ROMs, RAMs, and continue on with the other 2. All right, this is the second one. I need to clean this because it's filthy. So let's give this a clean. I can't work with this. So it's a bit cleaner. Like I said, I've already tested the voltages here and here. The test fine. Tested them at the chips. The test okay. So let's let me show you. I have the test card in, and as you can see, we just get a black screen. Even if I do a reset, we get nothing, and we get some weird noise. Very often on just a black screen, it could be this guy. And since this guy is already socketed, I'm going to test this out, and Maybe I have another C64 that has a good working one that's socketed. Alright, partial success for now. We got a booting board and but no sound. So here's what I've done. I have another C64 that has one of those custom PLAs. I took the one from this guy here, but it's right, it's here. That didn't work either, so we've got two dead PLAs. So I need to order two more of these. And we have no sound. The SID chip doesn't seem to be working. So I'm going to take the SID chip from here and see if that changes anything. It's kind of a shame. It's a rather clean board, but now it's missing a PLA. And I know for a fact that it's not even booting to a dark screen, like it's showing nothing at all. So nothing lost on this one. I'm just going to just take the SID chip from here. At least, even if it doesn't work, we'll have an empty socket. We'll be able to socket something. All right, this is the board now working. So let me switch this off and explain quickly what happened. So I actually took the SID chip from this guy here, the board that isn't booting. However, well, it didn't work. So it's this guy here, 6581. However, when I looked at the chips that were respectively in this and this on this board, they actually hadn't been inverted. So the PLA was here and the SID chip was here. So I put the SID chip that was here by mistake back in, and it still works. So it's lucky, actually. I'm not sure where the voltages go, but on these, but we could have fried it, you know, or at least one of them. But the PLA was dodgy. So I'm going to order another one of these for this board. They're easy to get, very easy to get on the eBay or wherever on the internet. I'm going to order two actually, one for here and one for this board. I'll see if I can find a replacement SID chip for this. I'm going to put a socket, and we're going to have a quick go at this guy as well. See if we can get anything on screen. It doesn't look like it's booting. We just get a black screen. So it could well be just a processor issue or something like that. No, we don't even get a black screen, meaning we don't even get like stuff like sync or anything like that. It's just not even booting. Like we're not getting even an RGB signal out of this. So it could just well be that the board isn't even going near booting and it's a processor issue. I don't know, but that's going to be a bit more troubleshooting than these guys. But at least we know now the RAMs seem fine. And it's just a matter of replacing this fella. And these two were swapped. Somebody has been at this board before, as far as I can see. So they probably tried a few fixes, didn't work, and then just, I don't know, gave up really quickly. And that happens. I need to remove this as well. So anyway, new PLA. I'm not going to film any of that. We're going to move on quickly to this board. Right, third board. This one took a minute for me to figure things that were going on. And what I started doing, well, it wasn't booting, you know, it wasn't even going to a black screen. So I started just checking. I started removing all these, the MPU, the kernel. I wanted to check these two guys. I wanted to be able to remove them because these are the not the VIA, the CIA chips, and you can actually remove them and the board will still boot. Same thing with the SID chip. You can actually remove those. There's a few chips like that you can remove. The board would still boot without them, which is handy to figure out, you know, to troubleshoot, because if they are faulty, they can actually cause a black screen. So anyway, I removed these, and then I started looking in the I was still not getting any picture, so I replaced what did I do next? Oh yeah, I replaced the CPU or the VIC chip and the clock chip, and nothing happened. So I put them back and tested these actually in the other machine, and it worked fine. So all these chips here are working fine. Same with the crystal. And then I had a doubt. I wasn't sure, so I started probing with the scope and doing some continuity test, and somehow the +5 didn't align with the +5 of what should be normally on this revision board. This is where the PLA and this is where the SID is. On this revision board, this is the PLA and this is the SID. So I think what happened is somebody tried to have a go at this. Look at this, because this wasn't socketed. This wasn't socketed, so only the PLA was socketed. Try to have a go at this and put the chip back, and he didn't know, or he or she didn't know where to put them back, so he put them back using this one as a template. Inverted them on this, so this is why these were inverted. So this is why I couldn't boot the board, and once I did this, I am, well, getting first a black screen, but with the test card I'm getting a white screen, so I'm gonna check. Thank you very much. I gotta check what this means from the manual. Right, so the issue was there's actually one of the legs here when I, well, in this case, that white screen was one of the legs here was actually slightly broken, so I just pushed it in a bit more. I might need to maybe just remake a leg for it, resolder something, but other than that, it's now, as you can see, working fine. We have no sound because we're still missing a SID chip here, and I've borrowed the GAL chip, PLA chip from another computer. So we're missing a SID, a PLA, and here we're missing a PLA. So I've ordered these actually, so they should be coming hopefully soon. All right, so I got the replacement ICs. In black is the what is it called? The Swin SID, and in blue is the PLA. So I got two of these PLAs. I got one of those Swin SID. So this one is going in here, and I hear the Swin SID is not the best exactly, but I think these shoes are mostly due to like timing with games. I'm wondering whether it'll be okay in a sort of a synth environment. I do have some ARM ones on order as well. This one arrived first, but it'll give me an idea of, you know, what they sound like and maybe compare them. Actually, we could do that. So anyway, so I'm going to put that in, and hopefully we'll have a completely working c64. Well, we know it's working, and then we can move on to the cosmetics repairs. Next is we're going to deal with the cosmetics side of things. Let me flip this camera over. There you go. So I've already taken the keyboards apart. I've taken all the keys off. They're being washed thoroughly, and I have the two boxes. So one of them is going to become the synthesizer, or we might even make two. Why not? We'll see. So this was the one with the bad scuffs that I've actually just sanded down slightly, cleaned them as best as I could, and it's not half bad. I have some labels different than the original ones. I thought it'd be a cool idea, because I have two already that are stock. So these ones we're gonna maybe just change them around a bit. This was the worst case that I had. You can see even after cleaning, there's still some just bad discoloration. It could do with a retro bright, but at this stage, I don't know. I'll see. And the case was badly cracked here. So what I've done is I've reinforced it with well, just a bit of heat soldering iron and some metal inside just to reinforce it. It doesn't look great right now, but I'm going to apply some filler. We're going to sand it up back flush and see if I can color match it slightly. I'll see if I can sand these down, maybe with I think the LB guy uses was it baking soda or something like that as a very, very mild abrasive for all these, to clean this as best as I can. And then I think this is the case we're going to use for the synth, because of the condition, the fact that it's cracked already. It's cracked here. There's another big kind of gouge here. You can see there's a thing missing. So I won't feel too bad if I need to maybe just drill kind of switches and things like that for this mod. Anyway, so I have the keys well being clean right now. Well, let me show you. All right, so I have the keys here just seeping in what is essentially washing up liquid. Here I have the other keyboard already dry up, so I'm gonna put this back together. I have two types of keyboard. One is the common one with the springs, the other one is with the tabs. This is the one with the tabs here, which is a rarer model. So I think I'm gonna keep this for one of the stock C64. It'd be a shame to use that, a rarer model for a synth and use the one with the springs, which is more common. And it also means we might be able to use keys from a C64C if we want to have the alternating white and black sort of keys. Maybe, we'll see. But so I'm gonna put this back together slowly. Alright folks, so cosmetic update. I have one of the C64 back together, fully working. We can put it aside. I just gave it a clean with some, well, first water and then some isopropyl. There wasn't that many scuffs or anything like that, so this one cleaned up really well, and it's actually quite tidy. This is my old one here. I have now two. The next one is this keyboard. So this one is the keyboard. So there's two types of keyboard. There's one with springs and there's one with little pads, these little guys. And I have two keys missing, so I'm actually waiting for two of the tabs, the key tabs, and pads to come, and two keys as well. I might have mentioned I have the X, I found it, but I could not find anybody sending an original part with a 1, so I've ordered, well, I say 5 from now. What I might do is I might, oh no, these won't work actually, these won't work because the tabs are a different size and these are slightly different size. So if somebody knows where I can find a 1 of the type, I think it's the type 2 keyboard, the one with those little pads, so not the ones with the strings, but the one with those guys. Anyway, so this one I cleaned again. I cleaned the bad scuffs, and they actually cleaned up pretty well. I could, you know, sand them down even more and just maybe put some filler, but I think for what it is, I don't mind too much. This one was definitely the worst one. There's some heavy yellowing. It must have been stored, something must have been stored on top of it. You can see those lines here. It looks like it was probably in an industrial environment or of sort. But the keys cleaned up quite well. I mean, these were caked in dust and I couldn't press them down, so they actually work all fine and well now. There's some heavy yellowing even on this. But so this is the one we're going to use for the synth. I have used some, and it's going to look horrendous close up, but in real life this is what you'll see, you know, pretty much as close as it gets, and it doesn't look too bad, I have to say. Now I could try and color match it, or even some people I know would recommend painting the box here. But I think that just hides a lot of the defects, and I do like my, at least retro items, to have a story behind them. Stuff like gouges and stuff like that, they tell a story. You know, it's actually interesting to me that there's traces of it being on top, and make me wonder where it could have been stored and what was actually sitting on top of it. Were these stickers, those rectangles, or was there a grid thing on top of it? What happened here that the whole keyboard cracked? So I'm gonna keep it like that, and this is the one I'm gonna use for the synth. I smoothed it out as much as I could, sanded it. I can't feel anything with my finger, but obviously it looks like it's been patched. I'm okay with that. As far as the boards are concerned, they're all working 100%. I ran all the tests with this test card. I did find on this motherboard that's going into this guy, so it's going to be our synth, that the color run was dodgy. The test was giving me that, so I changed that, and while I was at it, I've been just putting sockets pretty much everywhere I could, so that will make it easier to maintain. So this is going back in there, and as soon as I get the keys, and that's going to be the next video, it's going to take a few days. As soon as I get the keys for this, this one can be closed again, and we can just focus on making a synth for this guy. Alright, well this is it really. Cosmetically, I mean, this is as far as I can go. I have one of these. I love these. I know they don't look like the original stock ones with the colors, but I just like the sort of industrial look of them, and they have that indentation that I couldn't find in other repros. I know you can find new old stock or ones that were, you know, secondhand, that are actually were taken from an existing Commodore 64, but they cost an arm and a leg. You know, you're talking about 30 euros for one of these. This costs about 5 euros, and it looks the part. Now, because this one is going to be the synth, I don't mind different in look, and in fact, I've actually put a blue LED, just because, why not? So it'll be a piece, you know, it'll be a conversation piece. People will ask, you know, what happened here? Why is this different? Why is there a blue LED? And I might do the same with this other one. Here I'm going to put a green LED to differentiate them. And this keyboard here is the one that has the little rubber springy bits. There is difference in sound, slight difference in feel. I'm not sure which one I prefer. The other thing is that I got the keys for these. I couldn't find a one key for this guy, so it's gonna look a bit odd until I can find an actual one key. But I took the 7 because it's somewhat similar. It doesn't, you know, scream at you, you know, at least from a distance. You wouldn't even notice it until you pay attention to the one. So that's it. Technically, this is the restoration complete on these. So I think now we can move on to doing upgrades. I got a little small screen that I'm gonna add to the end product. I want to have a little small screen. This is a 4.3 inch. I got this Luma fix as well for it, just in case, because this is composite. We might have some Luma issues, so I got the Luma mod. And now I just need to start working on a design for a front panel with knobs. I know Lookmum No Computer made one, and we could use that, but I want to make my own using a screen and possibly using a little one of those digital oscilloscopes. That could actually be cool. I'll see if it arrives. I have one ordered, so I'll see if it arrives in time. If not, I can make a second revision on the board. And I want the board to look slightly different. In fact, let me show you. This is Lookmum the Computer. This is his website. I put the link to his video. It's actually very entertaining. This guy, Commodore 64 knob interface, and I thoroughly recommend his channel. What he's done, he's used notes and volts, or volts and notes, Arduino MIDI interface, and link that to his cart, and he's actually shared all the schematics and that kind of stuff. So I use that as a basis to make my own, because while this is cool, I also would like a volume knob on this, and I also want a screen. I want that thing to be portable, like this guy. How cool is this? So it's something like that I'd like to make. So I started working on my own little version of the PCB with the MIDI inputs and outputs in there. All my knobs are going to be on this side, and I'll have a opening for a 4.3 inch little screen. So yeah, hopefully it'll work. Oh yeah, the other thing I'm doing is here's going to be my Arduino. It's actually going to be on the other side, so you saw there everything on the other side, but here it looks funky. It's because in order to have all these knobs working with the Arduino, we need a multiplexer. So I have 2 different types of through-hole multiplexers you can use, and you can even use a surface-mounted multiplexer. So you have the options. You only use one of them, but you have 3 options, because some of them are easier to find than others depending on where you are in the world. So yeah, handy. Alright folks, well, this video was long enough. I was initially just going to do the repair and then maybe the cosmetic on 2 videos, but I thought I'll compress that into 1 video. So the next one is going to be, well, the beginning and hopefully the end of actually making the synth out of this. So I've a few parts ordered. I'm finalizing the design of my board, and then we'll see what happens. But thank you for watching. I hope this was interesting. I know it's different from the usual stuff I do on this channel, but because it's music related, I wanted to have it here, and hopefully we'll have a cool new instrument to add to the collection and to the videos at some point afterwards. So thank you for watching, and